Hi, welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. It is Monday, Memorial Day, and I am recovering from the Rolling Stones show last night at Metlife Stadium. Their second show, of course, and this was the one May 26th last night, and it was quite a special show. So I'm going to go through it, the good, the bad, my experience. I'm feeling really, I got to tell you, talk about the Stones. I don't know how the hell they do it. I am 61 years old, and all I did was go to the concert and danced for almost 2 hours, and I'm exhausted. I'm like completely hungover this morning, and not from excessive drinking. I don't know how these guys do it. It is a miracle. Mick Jagger he's not even human. I don't know how the hell the guy does it. But anyway, let's talk about the show. We got there, we tailgated. It was a lot of fun. It was a great atmosphere. Ran into the Shadoobies, which is a Facebook group of huge Stones fans that get into the pit apparently at every show. And they know how to party, and that was a little bit fun going over and meeting a couple of people. And then we went in to see the show. The opening band was Lawrence. I had never heard of them, but from what I can gather, they were pretty good. Now, the thing with real estate and apparently with concerts, and I've been to so many concerts, location, location, location. We're going to be talking about that because I was up in the 300s. I bought 5 tickets, went with my family, so, to get 5 tickets, I pretty much could only afford being up at the top. We were in the 300s. Pretty good direction. When we were looking down, we were slightly past, the edge of the catwalk. So we were like right in the middle. So we had a good angle, can see, the stage really clearly and all the screens. But when Mick came down, we could see him, except he was little. So that was our location. Lawrence did a good job, but the sound was terrible. And everybody was like up there. We were like, oh, the sound is so muddy. And I'm like, it's the opening band. It'll get much better for the Stones. Well, we're going to talk about the sound problems, at least in my opinion. Let's talk about the show, first of all. And then I'm going to show you the merch. I got the program. I got a shirt and some other stuff. So I'm very lucky. I am really happy with the set list. I thought the set list for this second show was about as good as it was going to get, for a fan like me in a Stadium Stone show. So we'll do a comparison. This was the first night that I was not there. And here's last night's show. And it was pretty special, really kind of historic, because they had no less than 4 songs make a debut. And when you see the Stones, Latter Day Stones, well, all the Stones shows, really, if they bring in one new song, that's pretty exciting for Stones fans. They did 4 last night, so that was just tremendous. They opened up with Start Me Up. We figured that. I got to tell you, so we were all the way at the top. We were like 13 rows or 15 rows from the top, so we were like in the middle of the top section. And when we got up there, I was kind of like worried. I'm like, are we going to be able to party up here, dance and sing? We're so damn high up. The buzz from the crowd was just tremendous. It was completely sold out. There was definitely not like a seat available anywhere. I mean, this place was mobbed. Even the upper deck, even the top row, every seat was taken. And it was a great atmosphere. Everybody wanted to sing and dance, and from the get-go. So from the opening notes to Start Me Up, everybody was on their feet, even up in the section where I was at, and we were just dancing and singing the whole show. And the whole stadium was rocking, man. So it was a great atmosphere, great crowd. Start Me Up, pretty perfunctory. Get Off My Cloud, well, I was so into that because I loved that. I remember seeing that on the No Security tour, and it was a highlight, and didn't disappoint. Get Off My Cloud, we were all singing, hey, you, get off of my cloud. Nothing like 80,000 people singing that. It was just a rush. And I got to tell you, I was flying. I was just in the best mood. I was so into this, and I'm like, this is great. Third song, well, there's your tour opener of Bitch. They hadn't played anything from Sticky Fingers, my favorite album of all time. Then they go into Bitch, and I'm like, well, this is goddamn awesome. This is great. But I got to tell you, the sound was real muddy. And I'm like, man, I felt like I was listening to a bad bootleg from 1972. I was like, this is Bitch, but it just doesn't sound all that good. But I knew it wasn't the Stones. The Stones were roaring. It was the sound up there. It was muddy. just distortion. And I'm like, well, it must be because we're so damn high up. It was bugging me. But then it would clear up. It was inconsistent sound. Angry came next. Angry was killer. Everybody in the crowd was singing it. Angry. It works really well live. I think it's a killer song. It still sounds killer. Now, I voted for Heartbreaker next up with the song vote. I'm a Goat's Head Soup freak, and I wanted that. I saw them when they did that in '75, and I haven't played it much since. They did it on the Voodoo Lounge on occasion. And they did Heartbreaker, and I was thrilled. I'm like, please do Heartbreaker, and I was yelling, Heartbreaker! And they did it, and it didn't disappoint. It was great. Ronnie did some good wah-wah, solo on air. It was great. The horns kicked in. We were all saying, do, 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 do. I mean, it was a really good atmosphere. It was great. Then Mick said something like, we did this the other night, and it went over so well, or we enjoyed it so much, we're going to do it again. And they did Wild Horses, and I died and went to heaven. For me, Wild Horses was by far the highlight of the show. The sound for Wild Horses was literally crystal clear, and I was like, thank you, God, this is phenomenal. It was wonderful to hear Keith doing the harmony vocals. It was just like classic Stones. They played it so well. They sounded so great. Jagger is just in incredible form, man. I can't believe he's 81 years old. Forget that he still runs around and blah, blah, blah. He is singing incredible. And the Stones, God bless you guys. Every goddamn person in the industry should be watching you because you're live. Live. Fantastic. Wild Horse is the highlight of the show. They went into Tumbling Dice, good version of it, but the muddiness came back a little bit. Then they go back to Hackney Diamonds and they do Whole Wide World. I really like that song. I love Jagger's Cockney accent on it. It's the only time I've ever heard it like that. And it works really well. Whether he's acting with that voice intonation, I don't care. It's great. And the song was really good. I liked it a lot. They did Can't Always Get What You Want. Great sing-along. The guys who were working the lights were doing a great job in the stadium because the crowd was really singing through the whole concert. Not just like You Can't Always Get What You Want. We were singing do-do-do-do-do-do. They would raise the lights. You would see whatever the crowd was, 80,000 people singing it. From the upper deck to the lower, the crowd was with the band, and it was great. So Can't Always Get What You Want was great. Loved the French horn introduction. It's real. It's genuine music, man. They're not playing the canned stuff. Just great. Now you get another tour debut. Keith Richards comes out. He's going to say, for the first time, we're going to do a song from Hackney Diamonds. I'm like, they're doing Tell Me Straight. And I got to tell you something. It was really great. Even my wife, she's like, that's a really good little song. It's not an epic, but it's a good, really, really good little song. I love You Got the Silver, but I was thrilled to hear Tell Me Straight, and it was great. Little T&A, classic. Love that song. Great performance. Really funny. I got to watch a video. I have not seen a video of it, but he botched it, and I mean that in the best way. Towards the end of Little T&A, they botched the ending, and he stopped playing. Completely stopped playing, looked around like this, and I was like, this is great. I once told you guys in the 81 tour, I saw them do it at the Meadowlands, the arena, and they did Let It Bleed, and they messed it up so bad that they actually stopped in the middle of the song. So Little T&A wasn't that much of a train wreck, but they botched the ending, and I only mean that in the best way, because this is genuine live music. If I'm concerned about no perfect stuff, I'll listen to the albums. The Stones are the real deal, and it was a great performance. Sympathy for the Devil comes next. The stage, the whole stage is like a screen, and they had all the effects. You've probably seen the videos countless times, and Sympathy for the Devil was a great version. Again, nothing like 80,000 people going, woo-hoo, woo-hoo, and dancing from the top of the stadium down to the bottom. It was a phenomenal, great performance. I thought, with Keith Hicks' saying, pleased to meet you. Phenomenal. Just great. Cowbell opening, I'm like, here we go into Honky Tonk Women, and something happened with the sound. My son picked it up as well. I don't know what the hell was going on, but in the middle of Honky Tonk Women, there was some phasing going on. It wasn't just distortion, it was like phasing. The song would almost fade out, fade in. I'm like, what the hell is going on with the sound guy? The lights were going on, we're all singing Honky Tonk Women, but there was a sound issue. And then, to be completely honest with you, pretty much from that point on, I went from up here to down here, not because of the Stones' performance, but because the sound was just wavering. It really distorted, and in some cases, terrible. Um, After Honky Tonk Woman came Midnight Rambler. It's funny, my sister went to the show and she was like, "Oh, I wish they would play Midnight Rambler again." I'm like, "There's no way they're playing that," and I really wasn't missing it. But they played it as your tour debut again, another tour debut, Midnight Rambler. I enjoyed it, but it was not a. You see, here's the problem: location, location, location. I'm sitting here going to tell you it wasn't the best version, and I don't know because the sound was bad. It was distorted. It was really, really bass heavy and muddy. And I love Midnight Rambler, as big Stones fans do. It's one of the definitive Stones songs. And no other band in the world can come up with something like Midnight Rambler. But it was just kind of, I don't know, just a little bit lacking. After that, they did Gimme Shelter. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I always used to say that was the greatest song of all time. And I loved Keith sitting there concentrating. Totally nailed the opening. Stands up. The band kicks in. They're going into overdrive. And Chanel comes out and she does her part. She's a little dynamo. She's adorable. She's beautiful. She's got serious pipes. She's very, very forceful. It was a great version. Not to criticize, I've seen the Lisa Fisher version a million times and others. Nothing comes close to the Lisa Fisher versions. I literally used to levitate when she used to do her thing. Chanel Haynes is more powerful, more aggressive, not as tasteful in a way. But, it's Gimme Shelter. And she's going to do it her own way, and it was still great. Painted Black came next, and I got to tell you, the sound where I was just destroyed the song. It was a muddy, dark mess, and I really lost my momentum as I was going crazy up there because the band, I think, were killing it, but I couldn't tell. There was so much bass, and I was trying to concentrate what the hell is going on. Darryl Jones was very, very little in the video, so I don't know what he was doing. Was it him doing too much bass? I don't know. I'm watching the hands of Steve Jordan. He's playing a lot of toms. I'm like, is he overdoing it on the toms? I don't know. Or was it his kick drum, which obviously I couldn't see, but maybe he's just doing so much kick drum, but it was so much bass that it for me, it like killed the song. Or it was just a muddy mix and it wasn't the band at all. I couldn't tell you. So I'm going to want people to comment who was at the show who had, better seats. After that, Jumpin' Jack Flash, guitar sounded great. Keith comes out, that riff, massive. That was a good version. Do the Quick Island Tour, they come out, they do Sweet Sounds of Heaven, which I thought was phenomenal. I said it last year when the album came out. I want to see the Stones do that at the Grammys because I want to see them win a Grammy for that. Man, live, it is just an incredible performance. They just, on another level, Mick and Chanel, and they deserve some kind of award for that performance. It was terrific. And then it ends with Satisfaction, typical good version of it. I got to tell you, I like the fact that on this tour especially, the band's playing really tight. There was times in the past where Jumpin' Jack Flash could go like 5 or 6 minutes. They're doing the classic like 3-4 minute version of it, and it's great. Same with Satisfaction. Satisfaction to me was a real good tight version of it. They do so many different versions of Satisfaction. I always like the version from Steel Wheels. You give me one time, boom. Give me two time, boom, boom. It was a tremendous version. But that's part of loving the Stones. They do different versions of stuff. Overall, really, you got to tell me where you're sitting. Where I sat, it was great. We loved it. My wife loved it. My daughter never saw them before. She thought they were great. My son's girlfriend never saw the Stones. She thought they were great. The sound wavering didn't ruin the show. Me and my son definitely picked up more on the terrible sound more. And so that was a little bit unfortunate. Now, my sister, she sat in the lower level in the section 200, and my friend's sister went, and we spoke to her, and they were in the section 200, and they also said the sound was lousy, that it was just distorted, and sometimes it was good, and sometimes it was terrible. And so it wasn't just where I was sitting. And that's something. Other people, I want your comments, because what's going on? Why in today's day and age with this technology would you have such bad sound? It was like Paint It Black was dreadful. Midnight Rambler was largely bad. It was just a terrible sound, like a bad bootleg. So I would love to know other people's responses. But overall, historic show, great set list. I die and be happy. They really mixed up the classic, the War Horses at the end. 4 new tracks, can't go wrong. Heartbreaker, love seeing that. Wild Horses, I never thought they were going to play again because they played it the night before. They played it again. It was the highlight of the show. And Mick Jagger is just beyond compare. But the Stones in general, they had a real deal. They botched the ending. Keith botched the ending of Little TNA. And I mean that in a good way. That's genuine rock and roll. That's what I want. You want to talk about merch? When you walk in, a lot of people were getting these fans. I didn't get one. Nobody in my family got one. And when we left, my son's girlfriend dumpster dived and got this out of the garbage for me. So thank you for doing that. So, because I was upset. I'm like, how come I don't have one of those things? And then I did buy the tour program. I got to tell you, I never seen so much merch sold in my life. Holy mackerel. The merch stands were like selling out. We went to 3 merch stands to get certain things. They were like, nah, programs are sold out. This is sold out. This shirt is sold out. It was amazing how much merch they were selling. I collect their programs. I collect programs in general. So this is the Stones program. It's okay. I don't think the Stones ever really do really great programs. But, I bought it. It was $25. And you open it up. It's got the lyrics to Whole Wide World. Yep. And it's kind of a good take, to talk about the Stones, like how many times they played in America going back to 64, so you're like 60 years in. And then you got some lyrics, some glossy pictures. And then one nice touch is they go back. So like wherever the Stones are playing on this tour, they do a little blurb there of each location and maybe some talk about it. So there's New Orleans and Glendale and then Vegas. I was wearing my No Security shirt from Vegas. A lot of people were commenting like, where's that shirt from? So that was fun from 1999. There's Seattle. So this is the program. Orlando, Jersey, their history with Jersey. And Foxborough and Atlanta, glossy picture. That's a nice shot. I remember when they shot that picture, right? Remember that made the news. So there it is. There's the picture they shot back in the day. And, Cleveland, Philadelphia. Touring is the only way to survive. Some quotes. Denver, Chicago, Santa Clara, Los Angeles. So, it's a decent little program. It's a decent big program. I mean, it's sizable. And there you have it. So, glad I bought that for the collection from Hackney Diamonds. The shirts was selling like crazy. And the shirt that I liked was sold out. But lucky me, as I was leaving the venue, there was a bootlegger. And I think this bootleg shirt is actually nicer than the official shirt. So what do you guys think? This is a bootleg shirt that I got in the parking lot. And I got 2 for $30. So the shirts, I don't know if you can see. Is this really done? Well, hopefully you can see that. But so 2 for $30 for this versus $50, $60 for the official. But I bought my daughter an official. So don't feel bad, Stones. I spent a lot of money last night. Anyway, there's my review. If you're at the show, please add a comment. I want to know what you thought, especially about the sound. Because, again, I was in the 300. My sister and our friend were in the 200s, and they both said the same thing. The sound overall was fairly lousy. And I want to know your take. So that's about it. I'm going to rest the rest of the day. I hope you guys are having a great Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for your support. If you're at the show, please chime in. If you weren't at the show, chime in. And that's about it. If you're new to my channel, hit subscribe. That would be really cool. Make my channel grow. Make me feel good. And help keep building this community. And I got to tell you, the dedicated viewers that I have, I am so grateful because you guys really is like a community. You watch the videos, you comment, we write back and forth, you write amongst each other, and you're always so nice. The internet is a scary place. And I remember when I started this channel 4 years ago, people were like, don't do it, you're going to get beat up. And people are just nasty. What do they call them? Gremlins or something like that? Trolls, whatever. I don't really get that. Everybody's usually pretty nice because it's only music. And music is for us to love and appreciate and talk about. And there is no right or wrong. It's just opinion. I could express my opinion. It doesn't mean it's any better than anybody else's. And we have a nice community here on this channel that we respect other people's opinion because music is just supposed to make us happy. And God knows in this world we need that. I need that. We all need that. So thank you, Rolling Stones, for another amazing performance. 80 goddamn years old. I'm 61 and I'm exhausted just from going to this thing. I don't know how they do it. Incredible. Anyway, thanks so much. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you next time on the Alan Rosenberg Show.